Sweden's railways have earned themselves a great reputation, with lavish and spacious interiors and excellent service. But today, I'm going to be riding the country's worst long-distance train, as I get ripped off by their awful first-class offering. This is the X40, Sweden's double-decker train, a regional express that operates journeys far too long. So join me as I ride from Gävle down to Stockholm to show you just what it's like. Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm here at Gävle in Sweden and I'm going to be catching one of the SJ InterCity trains down to Stockholm. For this trip I'm going to be riding in one of the X40 double-deck units, which you can see behind me, and I'm going to be travelling on the top deck in first class. So let's go! Good morning from the beautiful city of Gävle, just north of Stockholm. I'm just outside Gävle Centralstation, the city's only train station and a major regional hub. Let's waste no time and head inside. Here you can find the station's small selection of shops and food outlets. To the left there's a bar, while further down you'll find an Eritrean restaurant and the popular Swedish coffee shop Espresso House. The one that surprised me most though had to be the British W.H. Smith having a presence here. You'll also find plenty of indoor seating, perfect for those freezing Swedish winters. Though one big omission is the ticket office. In Sweden, ticket purchases all must be done online. Even ticket machines are pretty rare here. Gävle Centralstation has 5 platforms, and as a major city sees a lot of varied traffic. The station sees service from 5 different passenger operators. The main operator is SJ, the Swedish National Railway Company. They offer high-speed trains from Stockholm to key cities in the north, as well as intercity trains to smaller destinations. Mälartåg runs its modern commuter trains down to Uppsala, while regional services out of the city are handled by SJ. The other 2 operators don't run very frequently, so here's a shot of a freight train instead. I spent around 2 hours at this station, and in that time I noticed just how relaxing it is here. The southern end of the station is situated above the Gävle River, with some beautiful buildings in the background. The back entrance of the station even featured a fish pond, which was a pleasant place to sit and enjoy the sun. But enough about that, I've got a train to catch. My train is IC269, the 11:04 service towards Linköping via Uppsala and Stockholm. We'll be departing from track 1, with the train having already travelled the 2 hours from Ljusdal. And right on time, my X40 double-deck unit arrives at the station. These 2 or 3 car trains are operated by SJ, Sweden's national operator, on some of its secondary long-distance routes. They've received a lot of criticism for their interior being unfit for longer journeys, as you'll soon see. These trains are used on trips over 5 hours long. Personally, I think these trains look like an egg when viewed from the front, but let me know what you think in the comments. Alright, now that I'm done making fun of this thing's appearance, let's get on board. First class is located on the top deck of one of the end cars, and is kept behind a sliding door. It's in a 2+2 layout, which I found rather surprising. My seat is coach 4, seat 50, a rear-facing window seat. Today's route will see us heading south, along the Swedish East Coast Railway line and passing through Stockholm Arlanda Airport on our way to the capital. Journey time is scheduled to be 1 hour and 24 minutes, covering 182 kilometres or about 113 miles. Departure from Gävle Centralstation is on time, as we depart the city at 11:04. As we begin our journey south, we can catch a glimpse of the sidings featuring a few types of train used in the area, including the 3-car variant of the X40. Despite their somewhat simplistic appearance, these trains are actually capable of an impressive 200 km an hour. This is to allow them to better fit in between the Snabbtåg high-speed services that also operate on the same routes. So, what exactly is it that makes this first class so bad? Well, we'll get to the main reason soon, but now let's take a look at the seats. The padding available is absolutely fantastic, I mean just look at this. There was also good ergonomic support and a slightly winged headrest for added comfort. By the way, these seats are also used on the French TGV, where they are known for their comfort. Between seats, there's a folding armrest, which was really wide, large enough for 2 people. At the window, there's no armrest, but the window ledge is extra wide to accommodate for its absence. The armrests also feature a button for the seat's recline, which made the seat even more comfortable. Legroom here is pretty good actually, even if the seats aren't very wide. There's enough room for these shorter trips, but I think this would feel a bit cramped on longer journeys. The seat back table actually slides up before folding down, like this. It's a huge surface and perfect for getting work done. There's also a metal bracket, I guess this is for holding a drink. Above the table, there's a small pouch for storing personal items. And just to the side of this, there's a coat hook. The seat in front also features the power sockets, with one European-style socket for each seat. In common with most other Nordic trains, waste disposal is in the form of individual plastic bags. I always find this quite unusual. With Sweden being a progressive and modern European country, I am surprised they have single-use plastics on the train like this. After around 20 minutes, we begin to slow down for our first stop. Before we get there though, check out this old locomotive roundhouse. The very basic station we're pulling into now is Tierp. With a population of just 6,000, this is by far the smallest place on today's journey. But nevertheless, the station still receives a near hourly service down to Stockholm throughout the day. It doesn't take long for the X40 to once again reach its top speed. I've got to say, these fast line speeds sure are useful in Sweden, where there's often a lot of empty space between larger population centres. And the smoothness at this speed is also another thing to commend these units for. It really was a pleasant ride. But with all the praise I'm giving these trains, you're probably wondering what exactly makes this first class a rip-off. And to find that out, we actually have to take a walk around the train. Downstairs is the train's wheelchair zone, with space for 2 passengers in wheelchairs and an accessible toilet. This was also the only toilet on the train, as the other one was out of use. So let's go and have a look. This toilet was clean and kept in good condition. The soap dispenser was working fine, as was the water. Paper towels were provided for drying your hands. The rest of the train is second class. This was in a 2+2 layout, and as you can see it looks, well, the exact same. In fact, I even had to double check and triple check my footage, just to make sure I wasn't showing off first class again here. But no, it really is identical to first class. I know that the Swedish people are modest, but this first class seems a step too far. The only difference I could spot was a couple of stickers. Now there is one reason why you might want to upgrade to this first class, but I'll be getting to that at the very end of the video. We are now pulling into Uppsala, the 4th largest city in Sweden and home to the country's oldest centre of higher education, Uppsala University. Uppsala Centralstation was overhauled as recently as 2011, adding a new interchange for local buses and general modernisation. This upgrade hasn't been without issues though, as due to lack of drainage, the station underpass flooded in 2018, leading to locals using it as a swimming pool. Just next to us is the SL Pendeltåg, a high-frequency commuter train serving Stockholm and nearby suburbs. And this isn't the only station in this location either, with Uppsala Östra being right next door. That station is home to the Uppsala Järnvägar, a 33km long narrow-gauge tourist railway. I'd love to give this a go, maybe next time. If you like trees and fields, then the scenery on this route has you covered, as that's pretty much all you'll be seeing. But otherwise, this train is fitted with free Wi-Fi. It was very easy to connect to, and offered some reasonable speeds for browsing and messaging. On the top deck, these trains have absolutely massive panorama-style windows. When it gets sunny, you can pull down the blind. Mine was a bit stiff, but once down, it did the job. Up above, there's an individual reading light, activated using this button. These X40 trains were actually the first true double-decker trains used in Sweden, excluding the peculiar Y3 diesel units from yesteryear, of course. And like most double-deckers in Europe, the luggage space here is seriously lacking, with very small overhead racks. The end of the carriage features a few bays for luggage, and a luggage stack tucked into the wall. I believe these areas were originally used for more seating, but were converted to luggage storage due to complaints over a lack of suitable space. The train also serves Arlanda Airport, which is the main airport of Stockholm for both domestic and international flights. For some reason, I totally forgot to film this, but the station is really cool and feels like a cave. As we continue our journey south at 200 km an hour, let's talk about how much this journey cost. A one-way first-class ticket booked just before travel cost 335 Swedish krona. This is very expensive in my opinion, though better deals can definitely be had by booking further in advance. Interestingly, by comparison, the second-class ticket was only a tiny bit cheaper at 305 Swedish krona, though as it's basically identical, it's still not worth the extra. That is, unless you are travelling out of the capital, where such a ticket would allow you to gain access to the rather nice SJ lounge in Stockholm's Centralstation. Okay, it's not worth too much extra, but I'm just trying to be positive here. By now, the elegant and colourful buildings of Stockholm are on show, acting as a sign that our journey is nearing its end. Arrival into Stockholm's Centralstation is actually 1 minute early, at 12:27. Overall, I actually think these X40 units are fantastic for shorter hops like this one. However, offering first class on these is borderline misleading, as it is nearly identical to second class, and it should either be upgraded or simply removed. As always, thanks for watching, and if you want to see my video on Sweden's incredible fastest ever train, then be sure to click up here now.